Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. It has been 3 whole months since I last done one of these live streams. So, yeah, not sure how long this is going to go on for. We will just wait and see. But of course, as always, I do have some streaming topics written down, and if you hear a kitten meowing or just running around playing, that is my Oliver. I've been letting him upstairs a lot more to roam free and all that, just to get him used to the upstairs. So how is he? Well, he's fine. A bit clingy. Whenever I'm downstairs sitting on my recliner, he will constantly jump up and sit on my lap. Don't have an issue with that. The part that I have an issue with is the fact that he keeps going to bite me. So I've now just anytime he tries that, I just pick him up and put him back down, and then 2 seconds later he's back in my lap. So yeah, like I said, I don't know how long this stream is going to go for. I have 6 topics to talk about. Those being scalpers and the Amazon canceling pre-order that happened to both AJ and Matt over at AJ's Movie Place and Matt V's Movies, as well as, of course, I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who and Disney, because, well, there was an article put out by a pretty reputable, article place. Well, they got a few things wrong, and it's kind of gotten people talking about it. As well, next week is Comic-Con. So I'm going to talk about a few of my hopes and dreams for that. I don't normally care for Comic-Con itself, but it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'll also be talking about potentially taking a break from doing the classic Doctor Who votes. I do the votes every 2 weeks for a classic Doctor Who episode for you to vote for what you would like me to watch and review next. As always, then of course I'll be talking about Star Trek, and lastly I'll be talking about up and coming content. We do have a comment already here from the Trash Picture Show. If you're not subscribed to him, please do go check him out. He does amazing reviews. I watched a few of his reviews. They're actually really good. As well as he does more like toy stuff. Talking about the big toy companies like NECA, the different brands like Predator and all that. So please do go check him out. And thank you for tweeting it out. I did see it, that I got a notification that you tweeted out. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So yeah, that's basically what I have topic wise to talk about. Obviously, that will be derailed it for other comments, as the stream goes on, as more people join in. So yeah, I want to talk about the scalpers and the recent Amazon canceling of pre-orders, mainly around Jaws for the new boutique label version that they put out. So the first video I saw of this was from Matt V's Movies, where he talked about how his pre-order I think wasn't due out until next month, but it had completely vanished from his orders. He didn't get notification that it was cancelled or what was happening, so he had to go chase it up with Amazon themselves for them to come back and say yes, it was cancelled, that it was out of stock, and then AJ made a video reiterating that as well. And Matt did also share what the going rate for that Jaws Vault version on eBay, which is about, I think, £160. And yeah, it sucks. There are always going to be scalpers in everything, in every little niche that we have with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, physical media for the boutique labels, which is why I'm really glad that I don't collect those for 2 reasons. One, this being one of them, potentially losing out to scalpers, and then if I want to buy it, I have to pay their outrageous price. Or two, I just don't have the monetary means to do so. And I suppose 3, I just don't care. I don't care for boutique labels. Like, yeah, they are neat and they do look cool, but for me, I'd rather just stick with the standard Blu-ray that I have on my shelf. And I do love Jaws. I watched it for the first time 2 years ago, and I love it. I knew I was going to love it because I seen the documentary that was based about it years prior. Um, but yeah, scalpers are an unfortunate part of the collecting world. Doesn't matter what you collect, there will be scalpers that go to see a quick dollar to buy up, being able to buy up multiple fucking copies without they're being put in a place for only one per person, which brings me back to a funny ass video that I seen when the very first iPhone came out. There was this guy who's now a DJ and who was at the front of the line who was going to buy an iPhone, and this big bougie bitch came up with like $10,000. She had planned to buy out the entire Apple store and then resell them on eBay. And she then gave that guy $800 to buy his first in line spot. And then when she went in, turns out it was only one per customer. So she wasted $800 to go in first place just to buy one. And the guy was able to buy a bunch of accessories that he wasn't probably going to get to buy. Um, the trash picture says, "I fucking hate scalpers. They are a plague in the figure community." I have heard horror stories about that. Like I said, I collected video games first before I got into physical media. So I watched channels like the Game Chasers, Pat the NES Punk, channels like them that talked about scalpers and all that stuff. So I'm well versed with that. And it sucks. I mean, like I remember when the NES Mini came out, there was a bunch of scalpers buying that up and selling it on because it was a limited thing. So they would just go buy up a bunch of stuff, bunch of product. And again, the same with Pokemon. I've seen videos of grown ass men going to Targets, Walmarts, buying out all the Pokemon cards, and when they get comments saying you should leave some for little kids, and they're like, fuck them, they didn't care, which I wouldn't do. That's not something I like. That's not something I condone. But yeah, these people just love to go buy these things up and resell them at a markup. And in the Pokemon community case, they want to rip open, get the big hits, and either sell them on for what at the going rate at that time, or even worse, send them off to PSA to get them ready to then sell them off. So yeah, it is baffling that they're still allowing multiple people to buy more than one at this point for these limited releases. It should, and I do agree with Matt's V Movies, it should go to one per person. You're only allowed to order one, because I mean, like £160 for the Vault edition of Jaws, this great special edition. It shouldn't be that price. I get it. It's a boutique label. It's limited to however many, 3,000, 10,000. I don't know. But still, it should not be a thing. Still, the fact that this is going on, even during the pandemic when the new PlayStation 5 came out, the amount of time, that there wasn't many available. So scalpers were buying up as many PlayStation 5s as they were able to find them, and then resell them for a hell of a lot more than what you could buy at that time for retail. So yeah, it sucks that scalpers are a part of all the communities that we love to collect for. I know it's, like I said, as Trash Picture Show says, it's a plague in the action figure community. It's a plague in the video game community, and it's starting to be that way. I'm seeing in the Blu-ray community, where all these stuff are getting bought up, and it's not right. It just isn't. The main reason why I didn't want to make that as my own video talking about that is because, well, AJ and Matt have already done it. They're the ones who bought them. They're the ones who lost out on them. I didn't buy it because, as I stated, I don't collect boutiques. I don't have the monetary reason to collect boutiques. So that's not my thing. Again, if you hear a kitten meowing in the background, that is my kitten Oliver. I let him upstairs for a bit just have a run around to get used to the upstairs instead of just being permanently downstairs. So I apologize for that. He's just going to go running about. So yeah, that is yeah, that's why I didn't want to make a video on scalping and Amazon canceling pre-orders, which that is actually not great for Amazon. I had not this happened to me, but it what AJ and Matt have gone through, but this was what I had to deal with last year when the 60th anniversary came out on physical media. I had it pre-ordered, and I was told that I wasn't going to get it until after Christmas. But then when came to release date, I still wasn't going to get it until after Christmas, until I seen that if I ordered it, I could still get it on instead of having to wait for my pre-order. And that's what I did, and that sucked. So I basically canceled my pre-order and bought it then and got it instead of having to wait until after Christmas. So yeah, especially now with Amazon, with the Prime Day that has just gone on, there are a lot of people complaining about the Prime Day deals not actually being deals, that it was just these companies that getting close to Prime Day started to hike up the price and then put it back down to the original price and say that, oh, it's a Prime Day deal. So yeah, Amazon, not like obviously I have something coming in route from Amazon, and I probably will continue to buy a few things from Amazon just to add to my collection. But going for like pre-orders and stuff anymore, that's not what I'm going to do. I have my friend here who's also called Michael. He has featured on the channel maybe once or twice. He's actually the one who helped me, paint and set up this room. Not in this current, alignment, but he done like the vast helped me with a lot of that last year. And we are going to see Deadpool and Wolverine on next Thursday for the not the midnight showing, because I can't, like, by the time I get out of the cinema, I'll have to end up getting a taxi home, and that's just a waste of €8 to me. So yeah. He says they do these kinds of tactics during Black Friday too, hiking up the prices before. Yes. So just to catch you up, mate, what I'm talking about is not just that, but it's the fact that two of my friends on YouTube had one of the Jaws Vault collection cancelled on them without Amazon telling them that it had been cancelled. So I've just been talking about that, as well as talking about scalpers, because now if they want that, Jaws is AJ's favorite movie, he'll have to shell out like £160 if he still wanted to get it, because it is currently out of stock. So that's basically what I've just been talking about for the past 14 minutes. We have Tammy here from Physical Media Live saying, "Hi mate, hope you're okay and your new cat too. I'm just out buying a bookcase." I'm doing good, Tammy. Oliver is running around, so if you hear a kitten meow, that's him. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I probably will need to get new bookcases soon, because the let me see if I can, what's the best way? Yeah, that white one is almost fucked, my own fault, and it's also not necessarily nearly full, because it would have been probably full if I had all my Doctor Who's and Star Treks on it. Let me actually just re-angle myself for that. Yeah, it would have been a lot more fucked if I didn't do that. So I have actually 4 bookcases in here already to hold stuff, but at some point I will start to run out of room again, which means I'm going to need to actually get some stuff, get new bookcases. So the Trash Picture Show says they used to do that in a store I worked in, rhymes with gun doors. They hiked up the price when stuff arrived. and then drop them to the OG price for the sale. Yeah, it's a scummy tactic. It really is. And it's a shame that companies get away with it. Like, I know there is a website that allows you to check if you're actually if you were getting a deal on Amazon Prime Day. The only thing I actually ordered on Prime Day, which I made a post about, um, was this little police box right here. I bought this was the only thing that I bought. I paid €8 for it. It's mainly supposed to go for model train villages, but I thought it would look better for Lego, um, because it's roughly the same size. So this is my custom 10th Doctor figure, standing well roughly next to the model police box. So roughly the same size, same height and all. So to me, it was totally worth it. And now, like I said, I do have something coming in the mail from Amazon tomorrow. And that's simply because that was a film that I've been looking for, that I did not know the name of until I discovered it whilst watching Ian and Del Boy's live stream over on Ian Hill, the Ramblings YouTube channel, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Then I found it on Amazon, but it was out of stock. And then not yesterday, Friday, I came across it that it was in stock, and I was like, well, I may as well. I want it, and I didn't know how much longer it was going to be in stock. And literally, not long after I ordered it, it went out of stock. But thankfully, it's been shipped, so I will hopefully get that tomorrow. It's a play called Our Day Out, which was adapted for the BBC Play of the Day TV series. So I remember watching it in secondary school. So the fact that I'm actually getting it now and it'll be in decent enough quality instead of the YouTube quality, that I was afraid that I was only going to be able to watch. But yeah, I have that coming. And yeah, the Trash Pictures though says, you still doing your reviews of Trek games? That video is actually out. That big long video that I was working on for the Star Trek video game reviews did eventually come out. I had to scrap the ending real quick because I was just getting burnt out from playing Star Trek Online, which is something I was not aware that I was going to have to deal with. Will I do more Star Trek games in the future? Probably. Yeah, it was posted 3 weeks ago, and it's sitting at 126 views, which is wild because I didn't really promote it, because with me ending the video so abruptly, and talking about burnout, that it's done really well, which I'm happy for, because at the end of that video, towards the end of the hour and 15-minute mark, I do tease what will be the next big video, the next one, because and it's not video game related for now. That's not saying that I won't do one, because I have a few in mind that I would like to do, but because I got burnt out with the Star Trek one, I'm not going to rush it like I did with like I felt that I did with that one. I still think it's a good video, but towards the end, not so much. And so the next big video that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be re-reviewing all of the Jodie Whittaker era of Doctor Who. Now, I did do that, do all that at the beginning of 2022 when this channel was just still fresh. But I'm not proud of that video anymore, because instead of it being what I done for the other reviews, it was basically I reviewed all the episodes in 10 words or less, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great quality. I didn't have a good mic, and all that stuff. So in the end, I just wasn't happy with it, so I decided to take that video down, and at some point I will get back to doing to actually watch through her era when I'm feeling up to it. I'm not going to immediately jump into doing that big video of the Jodie Whittaker run just yet, but I will definitely do so soon. Luke's Film Unboxings asks, what's your favorite review video? Now that is interesting. Thank you for that comment. I'm going to have to look at my playlists to see what's a video that what was my favorite review, because there was a few. There is a few that I really enjoyed doing. So I will give you multiple film related, obviously. Okay, so we'll stick with film and not go for TV. So one of my favorite reviews that I've done, I'm going to say it's a series, and that is the Tales from My Backlog, because that has allowed me to finally go and experience movies I never seen, such as Mrs. Doubtfire, My Cousin Vinny, the Rocky franchise, which I'm nearly finished doing. I just have Rocky Balboa to do, and then I can start on the Creed series. Highlander, because I was a fan of this series, not the I hadn't seen the movies. Philomena was a fantastic Irish film that I watched last year, and still remains one of my favorite movies. Predator, I'm so happy that I actually watched the Predator franchise. I love the first one, and I love Predators. Those are my two favorites. Then I'd say Predator 2, then Prey, then the Predator. Let's see. Finally got to watch Starship Troopers. That was another great one that I enjoyed watching for the review. Watching the Lord of the Rings franchise for the first time. It took a while for me to get around to them, but I did. Terminator, is an interesting one. I don't like the first one. I love 2, and I love Genesis, and I don't mind the others except for Dark Fate, which is the last one that I need to see on that one. Doing the Cinevlogs is another one that I enjoyed getting to do. Actually vlogging myself going to the cinema, and then coming back and doing a spoiler-free review for it. Because of me doing that, I was able to go see the Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, in cinema. Let's see. I also enjoyed, what's another one? Parked. That was another hidden gem that I watched with Colin Meaney in it, and what's his face from Merlin, who played Merlin. Really fantastic film and really, really underrated. So those are just some of my favorite review videos that I have done. So the Trash Picture Show says, yo, Luke. Luke says film related, obviously, which I did go over. And then the Trash Picture Show asks, Michael, have you watched 1982 The Thing? I have not. Like I said, I have a big long backlog, and I'm slowly but surely getting through it, but I will not get through it before I die. Because there's just so many. Like, I can tell you now what the Tales from My backlogs are going to look like for August and September, because I have them planned out and I have my notes here. So let me just go back to finding it. Let's see. Yes, so next month I will be watching for the very first time RoboCop, and hopefully Full Metal Jacket. That does depend. Full Metal Jacket depends on my mood. I might swap it out for a different one. Just depends, really. Those are the two Tales from My backlog for August. I'm definitely doing RoboCop, simply because AJ said is interested to see what my opinions are. Because I remember watching the TV show as when I was 2 or 3, and that's it. That's the only vague memory that I have of RoboCop. As for September is going to be full of Tales from My backlog. I will be finishing off the Rocky series with Rocky Balboa. I will be returning to the Alien franchise with Alien 3. I will be returning to the Die Hard series with Die Hard 2. And I'll be finishing off the Terminator series with Dark Fate. So a lot of franchises that I started, I will be finishing. And then I can also say, I was going to save this for the end of stream, but I'll do it now. November is when I will be doing the next trilogy month. I was either going to do it in September or November. I left it up to a coin flip, and it ended up being November that won that coin flip. So it is on my backlog. Can't say exactly when I am going to get around to it, but it's coming. Is the best thing that I can say. It will happen eventually. My friend Michael asks, have you seen The Acolyte yet? No, and you know damn well that as much as I love the Star Wars franchise, I stay away from it. I don't delve into it much anymore. Like, yes, I will do, the movie reviews that I've been doing of the 9 films. In November, I'll do the last 3. But as interesting as The Acolyte is, I know it's getting a lot of hate from a lot of people, and that's fine. You're free to hate what you want. I, of course, have gotten some spoilers, so I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on these, on the spoilers. So if you haven't watched The Acolyte, please do come back later on, because I will be spoiling some of the stuff that I know from what I've seen being discussed on TikTok. This has been your one warning. So the main one that I'm going to start off with is Kid Mundi, because people were up in arms about him appearing in The Acolyte, because they were basing when he was born off of a Legends trading card, which, yeah, did that bother me? No. Because, again, if it comes from something that isn't canon, then I don't care. I see that as his beta canon birth. Him showing up in The Acolyte is cool. I like Kid Mundi. I think he's a decent designed character. So him appearing in The Acolyte, I don't care. So now we're going to jump to the series finale. So again, if you haven't seen the series finale of The Acolyte, this is your one chance to click off, because there are 3 things I want to talk about. So here we go. Number one, I need. Oh, leave me fucking ring light alone. The cat is gone biting the wire for the ring light, and it's already holding on by a thread. So yeah. He's fucking under my desk, the little bastard. Right, go away. Anyway, yeah. So here we go. The first thing, Plagueis, Darth Plagueis showing up. What do I think about that? It's definitely them trying to get a season 2. We knew he was around. So just showing him and teasing him, dick move. Number 2, teasing Yoda, again, dick move. Number 3, the bleeding of the lightsaber crystal. I do have an issue with this, because it was established in the canon Darth Vader comic of what experience should be like trying to bleed a lightsaber crystal, and that is, it should be fighting back. It should be fighting back. Like Darth Vader almost went back to the light side, trying to bleed his crystal. So should have been a bit more of that, rather than it just immediately turning red. Like, to me, that seemed a bit bullshit. But yeah, that's just my opinions on a show that I haven't watched, but I know a bit about. So hopefully people start coming back now. Ian Hill, the Rambling. Hello, Ian, if you're still about. This is a perfect segue onto the next streaming topic, actually. So thank you for that, Ian. Let me just go back to where I had them written down. Yes. So Ian says, "Hi Michael, I hope you're doing well. What's your opinions on the rumors that Doctor Who will be dropped by Disney?" So this was actually the second streaming topic I wanted to talk about. And it's, like I said, Vanity Fair is a reputable news article place, but the fact that when you dive into the article and look into it, there's a lot wrong that they mention. There is a lot that they mention that is just not right. It's not 10 million an episode to make Doctor Who. Russell did come out and say that last year that isn't the case. But I definitely think that Disney aren't too pleased with how Doctor Who has performed. It appeared in the top 10 at number 7 throughout that run. So it wasn't as massive of a hit as Disney had hoped. All we know is they have commissioned the first 2 seasons, and Russell has come out and said that they always had a contingency plan for if Disney pulled budget. Now I know a lot of people are blaming some of the choices on Disney because Disney tends to get the brunt of it. However, people fail to realize when it comes mainly just for Doctor Who, they're just giving money to help it on, just to have it on their streaming service, because Doctor Who is a big phenomenon. Was a big phenomenon. It's a 60-year-old show that is still going. Not many shows can say that. To have one show continuously going on. Star Trek, technically a close second because everything after the original series is a spin-off. So kind of Star Trek, but mainly Doctor Who is the only long-running sci-fi show. Granted, it did, as we know, it did stop in the late 80s, early 90s to the 2000s. So what do I think? I'm in two minds. I could see Disney pull out. I really do. And in which case, then of course they're going to go back to the old budgets, filming in quarries, steel mills, that type of stuff. And I could also then see, if that's the case, they might cut the episode count down again to save on budget, because we know that the BBC are tight assholes when it comes to giving Doctor Who budget. But at the same time, Doctor Who has managed to pull it off, being a low budget sci-fi show as far back as as we know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, the 2000s, and it can be done. But at the same time, they are focusing more on visually making Doctor Who stand out compared to what it was. And that's the wrong move. Focusing on Doctor Who's visuals rather than the storytelling. Because honestly, and I know in my reviews I was more open with the season, saying that I liked it and stuff. But that is because that was my raw reaction after I finished the episode. The more I thought about it after the season, and especially with Russell himself, I am not too happy. I honestly do not think Russell should continue on past season 2. I think that we should get a new showrunner, because the ideas and plans that Russell is trying to do is absolutely bullshit. Let's take the Ruby's mother reveal. She was it was teased and all this stuff that was going to be something great. Why does Ruby make things snow? And turns out she's just an ordinary person, because Russell was inspired by The Last Jedi and Rey's original path. which in November I'll get to, because I've only seen half of The Last Jedi, so I can't give my comments on that until I fully watch it. But yeah, that's not a good thing that Russell is done that. Another thing, there was apparently a scene in The Devil's Court that was cut that was going to explain why everyone just broke out into song and dance. That should have been kept in because of, it just happens out the blue. Granted, the consensus that I subscribe to is because we're still dealing with a pantheon in Maestro, who I absolutely love. I love them as a villain. That, Maestro being of music, that like with the end of the Giggle being the fact that they were able to split the TARDIS in two, so David Tennant could have his TARDIS and Ncuti could have his, and that's what I think happened. There's also, Russell said that not everything is going to get a satisfying conclusion. And the only reason he's doing all of this is to get people talking about it. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about viewership. He doesn't care if the episode is good or not. All he cares about is getting people talking about Doctor Who again. And that is the wrong way to fucking go about it. If you were going to have something like, let's take Mrs. Flood, for example. She is able to break the fourth walls a lot. Everyone knows in Bad Wolf Studios, including Russell, why that is, how Miss Flood is able to do so. But Russell has come out and said he might not tell us. And that, to me, is bad writing. Now, Russell is a fantastic writer, can be a fantastic writer. But I think since his return to Doctor Who, I think he has a massive ego on him now. And he's going about things the wrong way. And it's not great. See, the season one just, I like it. Season one was good. But at the same time, season one was supposed to bring in new viewers. But the way they were setting things up didn't really do so, I don't think. Because it left a lot of people who never watched the show confused. Like who is Sutek and stuff. Granted, they do a good enough job explaining it, and then of course there was the Tales from the TARDIS that actually did air on BBC4 that explained it, and that will be included in the season 1 Blu-ray. I will get to the season 1 Blu-ray now in a second. But the fact that Russell has openly stated that not everything is going to get a satisfying conclusion, and not everything is going to get a conclusion, and the only reason he's doing this is to drum up discussion, is the fastest way to lose people. That is the fastest fucking way to lose people. Like, this is a show that I have poured 19 fucking years of my life into. I have watched it all. Granted, I have missed a few episodes, and this is just strictly talking modern Doctor Who. But in large part, I have seen every episode on Airdict. But if this continues on, and he's just going to introduce these things and not pay them off, he's worse than Chris Chibnall at that point. Because Chris Chibnall introduced The Timeless Child, and did sweet fuck all with it when he left. He's just like, fuck it. People already hate me. I don't care. Let me just get through this and get the fuck out of here. So that's why I think at this point, after season 2, he should leave. And we should get a new showrunner, a fresh showrunner, to bring new life into the show. Instead of constantly going back to Russell. And as well, the viewing figures are not great because of the midnight release of the show. Overall, the first episode got like 5 million, and then it started to dip down past a little bit. Granted, they don't care about viewing figures; it's all about streaming, which fine, I understand. The Blu-ray, however, being 60 fucking euro for 9 episodes and a heap of fucking bullshit extras that I don't give two shits on. It being 60 fucking euro is an atrocious thing. Granted, that's the way box sets used to be and around when I was growing up. So I never experienced that, so this is my first time experiencing it, and I will not be buying it. I will rather buy a bootleg than fucking spend 60 euro on 9 episodes, one of which I already have on Blu-ray. And yeah, which sucks because I am a completionist. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Doctor Who and Disney. So the Trash Picture Show says, yes, the RoboCop TV show on RTE2 right after Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman on Saturday evenings. Thank you. I did not know because, like I said, I was 2 or 3 at the time. I had zero memory of actually watching it. I think at one point I did have a RoboCop toy. I just have vague memories out where if I can fucking talk, out at my nanny's where we lived for a time, and I'm looking at a spider. It's a good thing I'm actually on live stream, otherwise I'd fucking kill spiders. I hate spiders, so it's lucky it's living for now. Otherwise I'd get Oliver to eat it. But yeah. So yeah, I've never seen the movies. So I'll definitely give RoboCop I will be reviewing RoboCop next month. So the Trash Picture says, you think the BBC would be more generous with the budget considering who is a bloody British institution? You are not wrong, but it's the same issue with RTE. They're funded from the TV licenses, and the BBC have a lot of shows. So yeah, like it was explained in An Adventure in Space and Time, the TARDIS set was limited to just one studio that if it got overheated, would trick the sprinklers. And yeah, Doctor Who has always been low budget, and in my opinion, should stay low budget and should probably go on sabbatical. Close it down, stop it for now. Let it rest. It needs its rest. It's been going on for like nearly 20 years, and with all the stuff that's going on through a lot of the Moffat era, the Chibnall era, and now the Russell T Davies 2 era, Doctor Who definitely needs a break, and a good long one. The Trash Picture says, I take Ruby's gone now. Is Yaz going to come back again? Ruby is not gone. She's just not going to be the main companion. She will, of course, show up in season 2. She has been seen filming. The new companion will be Vera, who was in Andor, as well as the season episode 3 Boom. But she won't be playing that version of that character that she plays. She'll be playing a completely new character. But Ruby will be showing up, so it's going to be a 2 TARDIS team once again. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. Yaz is only coming back with the 13th Doctor to Big Finish, which I know a lot of Phasman fans are happy about that, and more power to them. I am more interested to see, Big Finish. They write fucking phenomenal scripts. Like, honestly, some of those scriptwriters should be on Doctor Who, because of what they can do with just audio, So hopefully 13 will get the 6th Doctor treatment, where, people actually like the 6th Doctor because they listened to his audios and things got better for him in the audio world instead of, the bit that he'd done, the 1 full season plus Trial of a Time Lord. So yeah, Comic-Con is next week. And I'm going to talk about what I would like to see from it. And the answer is not a lot. Obviously there's going to be the big Marvel panel, and they're going to announce a whole heap of new shit, potentially even introducing us to the X-Men, and all that stuff. Giving us like updates on all that stuff. Probably even like tell us that we're moving away from Kang, because of the whole Jonathan Major situation. Because rumor has it that the Russo brothers are in talks to direct Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. So we'll just see how that goes. So I'll be interested to see how that goes, but I don't really care. But I'll see how things go if anything interests me on that one. Obviously, Doctor Who are going to have their own Comic-Con panel. Hold on. I need to check on Oliver. You okay, buddy? Okay. He seems fine. Just got a weird sound out of him. Let's see if I can grab him. Nope, he's gone under the desk. But yeah, Doctor Who is obviously going to have their panel. They're going to probably show off some stuff for the Christmas special. They're going to talk more about season 2. Hopefully, season 3 will be greenlit, because it still hasn't. Because Disney's only ordered the 2 seasons. But yeah. See, Star Trek. That's the main one that I'm really excited for, because there's a lot that's going to be there for Star Trek. We have Lower Decks, the final season, the stupidly cancelled final season of Lower Decks. We have Strange New World season 3, because that they have finished filming, so that won't be until next year. We have the Section 31 movie. We'll probably get a trailer and a release date, which I'm super excited for, because it's going to be set during the Lost era, with Captain Rachel Garrett before she became captain. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then, of course, we're going to get more information about the Starfleet Academy TV series, which, they are starting to announce the cast for that. And I don't necessarily care for it. I will watch it, obviously. I watch anything Star Trek. But with the fact that they've... Hold on. This little weenus just attacked my leg. So that's how I was able to catch him. And he wasn't quick enough. But yes, this is Oliver, the little turd that loves to attack me. Playfully. But, so yeah, this is him. Had him a little over a month now. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, Star Trek. Okay, that's just where he's gonna go. What are you doing, Ollie? Psst, 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 psst. What you gonna do? Oh. Oh, no, he's gone. Anyway, yeah, so they cancelled Discovery, which I hate, because I do love Discovery. I've made it clear when I was reviewing season 5. They cancelled Prodigy, but obviously we got Prodigy season 2, which was fucking phenomenal, by the way. I hope we get a season 3 of Prodigy. They cancelled Lower Decks as well. So I am worried that we are going into a dark age for Star Trek again. Because there are, of course, we have, like I said, the Section 31 show, Starfleet Academy, and Strange New Worlds. Those are the 3 main ones that will be continuing, kind of. But like, for how much longer? How much longer is Strange New Worlds going to keep going? That's how, like, will Starfleet Academy get picked up for a second season, or a third season? So I've got a funny feeling that we are slipping back into the ages where we just don't get Star Trek shows again. We might get movies, but that will be about it. Um, so as well, there is of course the Doctor Who and Star Trek panel that we're going to get with Russell T Davies and Akiva Goldsmith. Now, there's a lot of speculation going about on that front, on that they are going to announce a crossover with Doctor Who and Star Trek. If that happens, I'll be very interested because they have crossed over in comics multiple times, both with TNG and with the Kelvin movies. So I'll be very interested to see how a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover happens. It'll more than likely end up being with Strange New Worlds for season 3, or it might just happen in Doctor Who's case, which again there will be another which will mean it'll be probably Strange New Worlds in Doctor Who, because it got referenced in Space Babies, so it's been referenced before in Doctor Who. Back in the Series 6 opener, it got mentioned in that. So the Trash Picture Show says, will we get Star Trek Legacy with 7 of 9 and Picard's son? I hope so, but there hasn't been much on it. Unlike, there is a massive fan outcry, just like there was to get Captain Pike his show with Strange New Worlds. However, I think the reason why it wasn't announced, and it still could get announced at Comic-Con, that the main reason why it wasn't announced was because they were dealing with, Paramount was trying to sell, which we now know is them merging with Skydance, who produced Into Darkness and Beyond. So it'll be interesting. So maybe once that merger is complete, now that that is done, that they will start to announce other new Star Trek shows, like Beyond, like we might get the Star Trek Legacy, because I do know that Jerry Ryan and all the rest are there for it. They want it. So I would love it, because I do love Jerry Ryan. I love 7 of 9. She is one of my favorite characters. So yeah, well, hopefully it does get announced. So the Trash Picture Show says, with that crossover, would it not be a licensing nightmare? Comics are one thing, but TV show owned by 2 different big studios and streaming platforms. That probably will be you are right. Will be a licensing nightmare. The reason why Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds got away with this, because they're all under the same umbrella. And yeah, that's what people are speculating. That's why Akiva Goldsmith and Russell are having that Star Trek Doctor Who panel. I am a little skeptical on it. Would I like to see it happen? Obviously, 2 of my favorite shows having a massive crossover. Sure. Will it? Do I think it'll happen? Maybe. I don't know. So one thing I actually forgot to do, I'm going to do right now on my other phone, is I'm going to log in on this account, and I am going to go to stream. I should still have it in my paste here. So if I click paste, yes, and boom. I just sent in a link. So if you would like to join, feel free to. You're all anyone is welcome to come join. So the link is there if you want to, in the comments if you would like to join. So we have Jojo here saying, "Morning, Michael. Good morning / afternoon. Hope you are well." So yeah. So one of the content things that I'm thinking of doing, hold on. So the Trash Picture Show says, turns out Q is a Time Lord and Davros created the war. If anyone deserves to be a Time Lord, and spoiler alert for if you haven't watched Prodigy Season 2, I think Will Wheaton would make a fucking good Doctor. I think Will Wheaton, Wesley Crusher, would make a fucking phenomenal Doctor. After seeing him in Prodigy Season 2, I honestly do think Will Wheaton would be a great addition as a Doctor. Doesn't have to be the next Doctor after Ncuti Gatwa. It could be one of the Timeless Child Doctors. So the Trash Picture Show will join in a second. So yeah, the next thing I have on my streaming topic list, whilst I wait for the Trash Picture Show to join, is I might take a break from doing classic Doctor Who votes. So in case you don't know, every second week I review a classic Doctor Who episode voted for by you. And recently they haven't been getting a lot of votes. So like the last vote that I got, it was tied. So which is why this week I'll be reviewing The War Machines. Next week I'll be reviewing Spearhead from Space because they are tied at 40% each. So I think I'm going to take a bit of a break from doing those. Not sure what then I'll replace the Friday videos with. I'm sure I can pull something out of my ass. And if I do go back to doing the classic Doctor Who reviews, I will just pick them at random. And so we do have a guest. Let's add to the stage.
Hi.
So we have the monkey here. Hello.
How are you this morning?
I am okay.
That's good. I actually was planning on getting to your stream earlier. I made sure I was awake for it, but then I got busy, and then I dawned on my head, and so that I came back. But yeah, I'm very happy I made it in time. That I got in here just as you were putting out the link, and I was like, yay!
Yeah, it was something I was supposed to do at the beginning of stream, but it completely slipped my mind because I was talking about scalpers and Amazon canceling AJ and Matt's orders for the Jaws.
They canceled them?
Yeah, and didn't even tell them. AJ and Matt both have their own video talking about it. So.
Well, do you want to tell the audience about what we're going to be doing later this month?
I'm still not 100% sure if I will be doing that. I'll just have to see what way I'm feeling. So I'm not going to announce anything just yet.
Okay. So how is life with the new kitty cat?
Oh, here he is. Grabbed him.
Oh.
Yeah, you're attacking my foot again. So, what have been your most recent watches? Never seen them.
Jurassic. It's the second one on 4K.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the Jurassic Parks.
Wow.
Like I said, I've got a long backlog.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a big fan of that one. It's actually my favorite that I even got to watch.
Cool.
And when you open it up, 1 second.
We have another guest. We have Trash
Michael,
Picture Show.
well, lunchtime. It's fucking lunchtime. I'm a lazy bastard. I gotta play.
Hey, I don't blame you. If I wasn't doing this, I definitely would have. Well, I'm not going to be going down to Centra anytime soon. because they've put up the my normal sandwich or roll to like €6 for ham, turkey, and cheese.
Oh fuck! This
Yeah, six
country's
fucking
this
euro.
this fucking country. We're gonna be paying
They're
fucking
robbing
100
bastards.
quid for a can of Coke. The way things
Yeah.
are fucking going, man.
I know, it's like it's fucking ridiculous, man. Like I went out then yesterday and I bought the makings of it for like eight something. And granted, I won't be spending €8 a week on the makings of a sandwich. At most it'll just be the bread, ham and turkey. Sometimes either the butter or the mayo will be added on.
But at least in the long run, like it'll save you a bit. Also, Monkey,
Yeah.
that is a kick-arse watch. That is a wicked watch. You're obviously a Jurassic Park fan, yeah?
Yeah. Well, what can I say? Life finds a way.
Finds out a way. Yeah. No, that's a sweet ass watch. Michael, what you were saying earlier on, dude, fucking Jesus, if there's a Who Trek crossover, I mean, that's going to open the floodgates. I think a lot of studios, if it does happen, a lot of studios are going to be watching with bated breath, because, as I said before, fucking Doctor Who's an institution, right? So is Trek. These are two titans. These are two absolute pillars of science fiction television, and if they come together, people will be like, Jesus, well, maybe we could do Avengers versus Justice League, or maybe we could do, Aliens versus Star Wars. I think. Oh, sorry, Monkey. Go on.
About 12 years ago, a artist did a illustration of the Doctor in arriving in 1985, and he runs into Marty.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know if you ever collected the Zach Whedon fucking Buffy comics season, whatever they named it, the season that was never made after. Rose, you can see Rose and Tennant in the back of one of the panels where Giles is in the UK. It's cool. It's, again, there's always teased that the Doctor has hopped around stuff. I like some of the, Michael, do you subscribe to the theory that like both James Bond and Mary Poppins are Time Lords? Do you subscribe to that? Do you like that theory?
Mary Poppins.
I love it. I love it.
I definitely could see Mary Poppins being a Time Lord. I mean, how else would you explain the fact that her bag is bigger on the inside, with the amount of shit she has in there, and the amount of probably illegal drugs in there too. James Bond, however, potentially, it could explain it. It could explain that with there being multiple iterations of James Bond, that he is a Time Lord that has regenerated. But then it would also be interesting because, Pierce Brosnan has both appeared in James Bond and Doctor Who as Rassilon for the 2009 specials.
Timothy Dalton, not Pierce Brosnan.
Timothy Dalton, that's the one. I always get those two mixed up.
No, easy to do. He's sure fucking Brosnan was supposed to be in those two Dalton movies.
Who wants a Pennywise crossover with the Doctor?
Could work. It probably could work.
He only appears every 27 years, so it really does fit with the thing of the Doctor. Like, wasn't there an episode of the Doctor where he meets this one girl? Like, there's this problem that gets his TARDIS like kind of messed up in time, and then he comes back and meets the same girl like 27 years later, and he thinks
that
it's all
is the Series 5, Episode 1, The 11th Hour. Matt Smith's first episode.
Yeah.
So it could it's similar to that, so it could be plausible that that's why we only see Pennywise every 27 years.
Well, considering the fact that Sutek managed to leave behind a version of Susan Triad everywhere the TARDIS went, it's plausible at this point.
I liked they brought back Sutek.
Yeah, I was happy with that. I loved his new design. I loved the fact that they brought back the original voice actor, who I did not know played the Beast in the Impossible Planet slash the Satan Pit, one of my two favorite stories from
that one
series
too. That's a
two.
brilliant one.
Those are like I do have a top 10 favorite Doctor Who episodes coming out next month. When is it coming out? The 16th of August is when I have that planned to come out. There's a few top 10s that I actually have coming out next month. The first one will be my top 10 favorite TV shows. As I said, they're my top 10 favorite Doctor Who episodes. And lastly, my top 10 favorite video games.
Ooh. The bit of a two nerdy fun facts for
Okay.
both the Impossible Planet and Satan's Pit. Because I'm a big Alien fan and I also like my first person shooters. The sound effects for the doors on the base, the original video game Doom. And
Oh.
also where they're going through the vents, that's a nod to Alien, and it's extra fun because Danny Webb, who plays the chief of security, he played Morse in Alien 3. If you're when you're watching Alien 3, look out for the character Morse. That's Danny Webb, who's the security chief.
Because I really like Danny Webb in those two episodes. He was one of my favorite characters as a kid. So when I do get around to Alien 3 in September, I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that one. So thank you for that.
No bother.
So yeah, I have an interesting question brought by my friend. Imagine Kang the Conqueror teaming up with Khan against the Federation.
Trying to think, you just see Doctor Strange going, Kang.
Well, you see, my friend here hasn't actually seen the original Wrath of Khan. He's only seen Into Darkness.
Very, very different very different portrayal. Okay, fucking hot take. I don't mind Into Darkness. I love it. A friend of mine is a big Trek fan, and they hate the Kelvin timeline. But I like the iteration that they've done, and I like that certain universes maybe bleed off. I can certainly see why. Originally that was supposed to be Benicio del Toro, because Benicio del Toro has that Latinx look, and he has certain facial features that are reminiscent of Ricardo Montalban. Yeah. But of course, he couldn't keep his big fucking mouth shut during an interview and lost a role because, I'm playing Khan. It's like, fucking, what's it matter? But Ricardo Montalban, you could do comparisons to both Khan and Khan. They're very methodical. They're despots who don't see themselves as despots. They're like, I'm doing this for the greater good. Not to the same level of Thanos, but they're like, I'm doing this because I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. Very much a byproduct of the eugenics wars.
Yeah.
Was it? He was first introduced in Space Seed, right, Michael?
He was, yes. That was the first episode he was introduced. Apparently, wasn't all that favorable when it came out in the 60s. It wasn't until Wrath of Khan that made people actually go back and sing different tunes about Space Seed. Having watched Space Seed two times now, it's an all right episode. Wrath of Khan is definitely better than Space Seed, obviously because bigger budget and all that. Yeah. But yes, to me, Space Seed is all right. To me, actually, Into Darkness is not a Wrath of Khan remake. It is towards the end, but it's more of a Space Seed remake than anything else.
Yeah, the discovery of Khan and his eugenic people. I still love the big Wrath of Khan is a fantastic movie, but the huge continuity flub of Chekhov being the one to discover Khan, and it's like, Chekhov
Yeah,
was
it
what
was
the fuck he meant to.
explained in the novelization of Wrath of Khan, which I think I still have. He was at that during Space Seed. Chekhov was working in engineering, so that's how it was explained
Okay,
beta canonly that it was he was in engineering at that point.
okay. It's the fucking thank God. People bitch about expanded media, but expanded media has gotten a lot of fucking plot holes out. I've fucking
Yeah.
helped people out of getting plot holes. So, you know,
What's each of yours favorite Star Trek line? Mine happens to be the "I'm not a something, I'm a doctor," or I'm not a doctor. How's it go?
God damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer.
Yeah,
Sorry, I went fucking Rick there. I went Rick Sanchez there instead of fucking McCoy.
you totally nailed it.
For me, my favorite Star Trek line has always been from Captain Janeway, and I believe it was first introduced in Dark Frontier when Seven went back momentarily to the Borg, and then was brought up again in Star Trek Prodigy season 2. And that is, there's three things to always remember about being a captain: keep your shirt tucked in, always go down with the ship, and never leave a crew member behind.
I gotta say, my favorite short that you posted, Michael, was your one about Catherine Janeway and her love for coffee.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna be lads. I'm gonna be a jammy bastard and pick an obvious one. I'm gonna pick Picard Drumhead. The first link in the chain. That's such a good speech. And also when he's trying to reassure Worf, look, you fucked up, Worf, but it wasn't your fault. Um, it's easy to spot a villain who twirls their. I'm butchering the line. It's easier to spot a villain who twirls their mustache. It's people under the guise of righteousness that we have to watch out for the most. And it's Drumhead is just a fucking brilliant. No ships blowing up, no action scenes. Just a really good kind of episode on Paran, and very relevant in fucking today's kind of political climate. I Drumhead's a great episode. Not so there's 2 or 3 great fucking banners from Picard in that one.
Yeah, like one thing that I have in book form is a book called Quotable Star Trek that has a bunch of quotes from a bunch of different episodes. So it's always fun to read through and see what made the cut in that book.
Mm.
Would you like to know my favorite Star Trek episode?
Sure.
I suppose we would. Go on, sure, you're here. You might as well.
It's the one where the engineer, the Irish engineer, thinks that he was in jail for like 25 years.
That's a great one.
That's
Poor
a brilliant
fucking
one.
O'Brien, and he's
Oh,
about to
yeah.
blow his fucking head off with the fucking phaser.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a
suffering
fucking
PTSD.
phenomenal episode.
Yeah.
They
And
really
it's fun.
love to torture O'Brien in DS9.
O'Brien was Scotty. Do you remember in TOS, they used to just absolutely whale the shit out of Scotty. They're like,
They
well,
really
we can physically fucking torture an engineer. Let's emotionally torture this engineer. Was that a running theme as well? Was Geordi also kind of did he get the fucking the head slapped off him a lot in Next Generation? Michael,
Sorry?
did they fuck with Geordi a lot as well in the Next Generation, or is that just my imagination?
Kind of. Now I haven't seen every episode of Next Gen, but from memory serves, he did kind of get fucked around with a decent amount. Worf, however, always tried to try to fight them, but then he was always just pushed to the wayside.
But the monologue that he gives at the end, where he gets pushed so far he almost commits suicide, and the doctor is trying to talk him out of it, it just floors me every time.
Yeah, I do love the relationship that O'Brien and Bashir have.
My friend Ethel, they're working on a thing how it's done in good spirit, but it's how like the pseudo homoerotic relationship between Bashir and O'Brien all throughout DS9. I was doing a video of Tammy and the T-Rex, and I asked them to shoot me an intro,
Hmm.
and they pretended they were watching the telly, and they're like, "Oh, Bashir O'Brien, your sexual chemistry is so palpable." And then I ring them and they hang up on me and go, "Now back to the hot sparks between O'Brien and Bashir." So, uh,
Ugh. Um, I'm trying to remember what my favorite episode is, so I'm going to actually check my 500 subscriber special, see if that tells me. Uh,
I would say while like fucking the next generation
hmm.
has like great character moments, best episodes and best Star Trek series has to be DS9 for me.
I do enjoy DS9. I'm more of a Voyager fan.
the the episode, like there's so many good episodes. The episode
There are
where
a lot of fantastic episodes.
well, what's the one where Avery Brooks actually directed the episode where he's back in 1950s and he's a science fiction
Oh
writer.
God, yes, that is a fantastic episode. I forget what it's called, but I do know the one you're on about. Um, where it turns out that it's him, this character in the 50s, 60s, trying to come up with a black lead story for a newspaper, but gets fired and passed on, and
Yeah,
everyone else is just playing human versions of themselves.
it's a great episode.
It is, yeah.
I want to show you who I think would be the best showdown between the Doctor Who. Like, you know how in this most recent season he was up against that mu- mu- music lady?
Hmm.
Well, technically she said she was a they, so but
Pinhead, Jesus Christ, monkey, you're not doing anything by halves. Um, Clive Barker is British, so like you could fucking Neil Gaiman's done a story for fucking Doctor Who, so maybe Clive Barker could do something. I don't know
mhm.
if Pinhead though would work,
It's, you gotta admit, it sure would be an interesting episode.
But Monkey, what did you think of the new Hellraiser with the newer version of Pinhead?
I would marry her.
Ah,
Yes, I would. I would. Any day of the week.
no, it was good. It was definitely better than the straight to DVD shit that came out there, like with fucking people
Yeah,
christened one poor guy Chubby Pinhead because they
yeah,
replaced Bradley, and it looked like the pins had given him an allergic reaction. Michael,
yeah.
what's your favorite episode? So, dude.
So my favorite episode, apparently it hasn't changed in the two lists that I've done for my top 10 favorite Star Trek episodes, and that is uh, Voyager season 2 episode Death Wish,
Mm,
Ooh.
good
where
choice.
A1Q is trying to commit suicide because he's done everything and that's the only thing he's never experienced. And it comes into a really great courtroom scene of trying to, one side trying to convince the other to allow Quinn to die. And it's even cheeky the fact that the Q continuum is like, well, if you tell Janeway if she goes in our favor, we can bring them home. We'll just snap them home instantly.
Yeah,
And
I like that that's the great. And again, it was with the first episode. People give Voyager a lot of shit, but the fact is, and I have issues with Janeway, but the fact is she keeps her integrity. It's the easy way out, but it's like, hey, we're representatives of the Federation. I know
Mhm.
we're out here. I know this would be a quick fix, but is it the right fucking thing to do? And she sticks
Yeah.
by her principles, and you're dead right, man. It's a fucking cracker of an episode.
Except in one episode where she breaks her principles when she is she's her mind is invaded by a alien that takes on the form of her husband.
Ah, yes, that episode. I vaguely remember that. It's been a while since I sat through Voyager and watched it in full.
I watched an episode and I was like, I did. That's one episode that pushed me too far. I've never watched it since. It just left me feeling really like, because that creature violated every single member on board and just got to leave.
Yeah, again, not everything is going to be like fucking sunshine and roses. Again, Year of Hell was another fantastic episode.
It was, yeah, and it was actually supposed to be a season-long arc, but they didn't go for it because they thought fans weren't going to enjoy a season-long arc of that, which they obviously would have.
I also like the fact we lost prime fucking Harry Kim, and he's replaced with another universe Harry Kim. Again, people bitch about Voyager, and every time someone bitches about Voyager, well, remember when Crusher fell in love with a ghost and her zombie grandmother bait up fucking Data and fucking Geordi? Fucking get your priorities right, man, you know?
Yeah, it's like Voyager, it has its issues. Yeah. And I see and understand some issues people have with Voyager. Voyager to me will always be my Star Trek. Because I mentioned this in tomorrow's discussion video that I have about Star Trek, and that's is like when I got into Star Trek, I was always told that the odd number Star Trek films are the worst. So I discuss it's also something I don't hear being brought up much anymore. So I do a discussion video to see if that original statement is warranted now. And I mentioned that what got me into Star Trek properly was the Voyage Home. So it was after I got into Star Trek through the Voyage Home, watched Final Frontier, The Undiscovered Country, Generations, and First Contact. I then went and was watching TNG and Voyager on the Sci-Fi Channel whenever they would show up on there. And then it wasn't until we got Netflix that I binged through all of Voyager. And so the only real Star Trek show I have actually left to watch in full is The Next Generation, which I will get around to eventually. I might do a full season, my old way of unscripted full season review, do season by season, or I might do it as like one big long video. I'm not scripted, so I'm not 100% sure on that one just yet.
Michael, being a hardcore Trek fan that you're gonna have a bad slog with season one. Let me be dead honest. Season one is a fucking hard watch. Yeah. As someone pointed out, season one was written by guys who wrote for episodes in the 60s that grew up in the fucking 40s and 50s. So that's why you have like that really racist episode with space Africans fucking making Tasha fighting the jungle gym. That's why you have the so many stupid Wesley Crusher. And I'm not hating on Wesley Crusher. And someone like you said it, my friend Shan said it, and Steve Shive said it, that fucking prodigies. Sorry, can't pronounce English, motherfucker, speakers. Prodigies made Wesley Crusher an actual badass character. So it's cool that Will Wheaton has gotten some kind of catharsis, but by Christ, he's a struggle in that first season. Also, fun fact, the fish aliens that appear in season one of them is played by the lead singer of Fleetwood Mac, Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah, I've heard that. Which is, I mean, hell, even Seth MacFarlane appeared in a few episodes of Enterprise.
Yeah,
and Fleetwood Mac did one of the songs for the soundtrack inspired by The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first film.
Oh, okay.
But you were speaking of the 60s, and do you want to see my favorite 60s film?
Sure, go ahead. What is
Monkey,
it?
you're gonna have to tell us the title. You're holding it too close, dude.
Oh, here.
No, you're in. Dude, what's the title? Just tell us the title.
Change of Habit, starring Elvis Presley and Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, that sounds fucking riveting.
Well, the premise is, could he change her life? Could she forget her vows and follow her heart?
So Elvis fucked the nun.
Well, I just think it's great that you take, because all of us have been watching the nun movies, and now you get to see Elvis convert a nun back to the 60s lifestyle of being a wife. And I'm like, finally, we see all these nun films, and all the stuff where the person is trying to get them to change happens to be this demonic character. But in this one, it's Elvis Presley. How awesome is that? And he's a doctor. So, and it was one of his last films too. So,
okay.
See, he's a chubby Elvis in this one. So it was close. It was close. So it was close to the end. But so Michael, would it be okay to show my favorite, the worst deaths I have in video games, like the 2 deaths that really just killed me?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
The sister in Fable 2.
Okay.
This game holds a very special place in my heart. I know that you love the series, but this was actually the last game that I played before before all the bad stuff happened to me. I was really normal. I even have a class photo where I look like just some average Joe, but this was the last game that I played to completion, and I 100%ed it. It was the last game I 100%ed, and then I was even playing past the original ending. And if you're wondering, yes, I saved the sister. But then, so Michael, if it's okay to ask before I show the next one, can you tell me, were you pissed that if you chose the sister, you didn't get the sister back? You just got a note?
I never played Fable 2. The only Fable game that I played through to completion multiple times was Fable 3.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the only one that I still retroactively still play every now and again. It was a demo. I played the demo of it on the Xbox 360. Then I bought a physical copy of it. And then as I was telling one of my school friends about it over Xbox, it turns out it was free for that month. Back when Xbox actually used to give out free games. So that's how I have it digitally now. But yeah, I still need to go back and experience Fable 1 and Fable 2. And the new Fable game does look really, really good.
Well, yeah, Fable 2 will always hold a special place in my heart. But the other death that I just really was the one in Outlast 2. I mean, you see the wife in the very beginning of the film, and I even loved this when it was just a playable demo, because in the demo it's actually, the opening scene is different. Like when you play the demo, it actually said that the scenes are liable to change because it's not the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it actually was the case in this one, because when you play the Outlast 2, and you're in that opening scene where it's kind of like you're hearing the wife talk in the plane, and you're just looking around getting the controllers to work. The dialogue she says is a completely different take. They like in the demo, the dialogue was really dark, like like sh- something straight out of a Halloween episode of SVU. But they kind of, like, if you would have rated it, like I would have rated the demo version of the scene like it rated R, the dialogue, but and they made the actual cut in the game be like PG-13. They didn't say the effects, like, that, because there was some like the way they found the girl that they're talking about. They don't say in the finished one what happened to her, but in the demo they did. So yeah, but still, the death of this one was sad, because you end up, it's kind of like Freddy Krueger, because you the bad guy causes the plane to crash, and you're in a and yes, this happens in the first few minutes of the game. So, but you, instead of the bad person just killing you, he you're transported into yours and hers dream, the dream version of where you first met the school. And it's just, so he killed her in the dream first. And I really loved that. It was kind of like Freddy Krueger, but it was like it takes place in like a school, and you wake up, and and the demo was, oh my god, the ending of the demo. I mean, he takes a peg axe to your what area, and then then sticks it in your head, the axe. So it just was, oh, the demo was wonderful. And then I played the game, and I'm like, huh? They changed the doggone dialogue. Huh. I don't know, but sorry I went on a bit, but I just
No, that's
didn't know
perfectly
why they
fine.
need.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
cool.
Yeah, but I will say one film you're going to want to stay away from, even though it has Loomis in it from Halloween, is this one. Pretty dark.
Never heard of
Yeah,
it.
well, I'd say there's a good reason for it. Yeah, it's uh, I I just say it's a movie that the premise doesn't. I mean, I got it because it was a Vinegar Syndrome title, because I'm into those, but it doesn't. The premise makes it think it's not going to be as dark as it is, and it was very dark. Yeah, if if I don't want to talk about it, it was too dark for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry I monopolized the conversation. I'll be quiet.
No, it's perfectly
Oh
No,
fine.
no,
oh
you're okay.
oh! I was gonna. Okay, but technically, really would like your opinion on this, Michael, because I don't see how the game series is going to continue now. It's like we haven't heard anything about this one, the Assassin's Creed games. Have you any?
There is a new one coming out. There is a lot of controversy about it because it's featuring um, a black samurai, which is historically accurate, and people are complaining that it isn't historically accurate. Well, but that's why people are like up in arms about it. I never got into the Assassin's Creed games. I played a bit of the first one, didn't really do the missions, just went around killing people, GTA style, and trying to hide, stuff like that. I tried playing 2 because I got it for free on the Xbox market, and I just couldn't get into it whatsoever. Um, but yeah, some people like the Assassin's Creed games. Maybe I might give it another shot. I highly doubt it, though.
The only one I liked was the Black Flag because it's a ship combat. I don't do stealth. I'm not a fan of stealth.
I'm not a
There's
fan
one
either.
stealth game I enjoy that's pretty cool. Saboteur. It came out in 2009 for the 360. You play an Irishman going around blowing up stuff. Who'd have fucking thought we'd be good at that? But no, you're blowing up Nazis, so it's pretty cool. If you get a chance, check it out. Going back to Monkey's question, Michael.
Mhm.
For you, Dom's death.
Ah,
Spoilers. In Gears 2 or
Gears
3.
3.
3,
Yeah.
sorry, 3. Yeah, fucking manly tears were cried that day. What did it fucking hit you in the feels?
I knew about it going into it
How?
because I didn't play the game on release. I played it
Oh,
after the fact. So I
so
knew of Dom's death. I had watched it and I was upset. Obviously, Dom's one of my favorite characters. And then when I finally got around to actually playing Gears 3 for the first time, after I got up to that bit and watched it, I put down the game for a couple of months.
it
I
hit you that
I
hard.
just didn't return to it because to me, as much like I love Gears 4 to a certain extent, I absolutely love and adore Gears 5. But there's still just no Gears without Dom, which is why I'm happy he's being brought back for E-Day.
Mm. They kind of signposted it early on in the game because you find different notes and reports and stuff, and there's a psychological evaluation
Yeah.
from Cog Doctor saying that he possibly is suffering from suicidal tendencies.
Mm.
Like it still comes as it doesn't come as a shock because
Yeah.
like after he had to fucking clip his misses in the second one,
Mm.
things were never going to be happy. So.
Yeah.
Hey, but Carmine, one of the fucking Carmine survived. So hey, at least.
Yeah. I know. I mean, and that's funny. That's always Clayton, because in Gears 4 we have Gary Carmine who
Yeah.
died, and in Gears 5 we have Liz Carmine who dies. But Clayton always seems to live, which is fun. But Ben Carmine will always be my favorite Carmine.
Which one was he? Was he the one that got killed
Gears
in the
2
first one, or got dissolved by the stomach acid?
dissolved. Yeah.
I did find that funny. I was like, "Am I going to make it, Sarge?" And you're like, "The fuck."
Yeah, like I mean, it was his own fault. Like I said in my 3 hour Gears of War review, he was wet behind the ears, fresh out of boot, and looked up to Marcus in some sort of father figure way, and wanted to impress him. Had he not done that, maybe they wouldn't have gotten eaten by the rift worm. But at the same time, had that not happened, they wouldn't have killed the rift worm, which then would have meant that Jacinta would have sank because
Yeah.
of the locust doing it that way.
I like it. I gotta do a gear stream and have you and LG on. There's another guy who does figure customizations, but he fucking adores gears. So
Yeah,
do
like I've got 4 Gears figures. I have Kate and JD from Gears 2 that are not like posable. And then I have 2 that are behind me that I can actually grab pretty easily, thankfully.
Oh, speaking of that, Michael, what did you think about the new trailer for the new Gears game? Were you happy they brought back the voice actor?
I basically I watched the Xbox showcase live, and then because I was hoping we'd get Gear 6. I want to see the conclusion to this franchise. I want to see what's going to happen. Who is it that we are forced to? Who's alive? Is it going to be JD or is it going to be Dell? Is it going to be a case of it? They're going to ask us, which case that does open up replayability because we can play through it as if we say JD, or we could replay through it as we say Dell. But the fact that they're going back to basics and we're actually seeing E-Day, which we only seen snippets of it in cutscenes, in a cutscene, as well as playing it a bit in Gears 4, I'm really happy about it. And I was happy that we got to see the Retro Lancer straight away, because that's one of the issues I had with Gears Judgment, was the fact that it was 2 weeks after E-Day and they already had the Chainsaw Lancer, which shouldn't have been, because it was Marcus who came up with the idea for that after seeing Ty using a chainsaw to kill a locust, saving him. So yeah, the two Gears figures that I have on hand is this Totaku Marcus Phoenix statue that I got in GameStop years ago. And to be fair, it's actually a pretty good sculpt. Face sculpt, not the best, which I won't be able to get fully looked at on camera. But the Lancer looks pretty good. It's a pretty good likeness to Marcus, and that's that. And then the other one that I have is I got for free. Is this Baird from Judgment, still
Did
with the
you
Red
get
Lancer?
Did you get that? Did you get that in GameStop?
No, I got it for free off of someone.
I used his screwdrivers. You can take the screwdrivers out.
Yeah, I still have them.
Yeah, I used them, but when he came boxed, he came with cog tags. I gave them to my friend.
Oh, I'm missing those. But unfortunately, I had him stood up on my fireplace downstairs before I built this area, and he took a tumble, and his head snapped off. So I've been basically holding it together with blue tack.
Is the ball joint gone completely?
Yeah, it snapped at the ball joint.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I've been keeping
Leave
it
with me, and I'll get back to you on a way to fix it because I'm.
Well, the blue tack seems to be doing its job. Like, it's not loose, it's not falling at all when I have him standing up. I would love to get more of the Gears of War figures. However, prices are like way too
they're
expensive.
fucking insane. They're insane.
Like, Jesus Christ. And this is just like for loose figures. If it was standard packaging, sure, I could understand, wanting 50, 60 for a sealed Gears of War figure. But the fact that that's the going rate for a loose figure is just wild. So for the moment, I think it's just going to be that Baird and Kate and JD that I have in my room that need a proper stand in order to fully stand up. But yeah, I am looking forward to Gears E-Day when it comes out. I'll have to probably buy a new Xbox in order to play it, which is fine. Might mean that I might actually upgrade them to 4K. Get a 4K TV, start collecting those. We'll see, but
do you think we'll see why Mark? Well, obviously we know he went to save his dad, but do you think we'll see the events that led to Marcus being put in the military stockade or the military prison?
That happened 10 years after E-Day.
After E-Day, okay.
That happened because it was he was in Jacinto prison for 4 years before Dom broke him out.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened in around 10 years after E-Day.
See, again, you yourself and LJ know more about this than I do, so
yeah,
I submit to more superior knowledge. But yeah, is there any other TV show or anything coming out that you're looking forward to, or or
TV show?
I'm excited for the Borderlands film.
I don't. I never played the Borderlands games. I know my cousin did, but it's meh to me. Like, I don't necessarily care for it. It could do well, but I think it might be another one of the video game curses where it just flops like massively. I could see it doing that. TV show wise, there isn't really much. Obviously, I'm looking forward to getting release dates for the final season of Lower Decks, because we are getting that this year, and that's the only other Trek show that we are getting. I'm also looking forward to getting a release date for Strange New Worlds.
Michael, I'm fucking hungry for next season Strange New Worlds. That cliffhanger was best of both worlds. Fucking Picard's a Borg kind of fucking season finale. You're like, oh Jesus. Like, are they all
Are we
fucking?
Yeah,
are we
because
supposed to be?
there's some characters that were taken that we know will survive because they appear in the original series. However, there's still a few that are up in the air on if they'll
Like
survive.
Ortega and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
Ortega, the chief security officer, whose name is escaping me, who also appeared in Doctor Who.
Well, speaking of Ortega, that's another series that I'm looking forward to seeing the second season of. Right here, see, I wear the hat.
oh, okay, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
went to
filming
be
here in
Harry
Ireland, usually.
Potter for me. I was like,
See, I never watched season 1, but I do know for the new season they're filming here in Ireland.
yeah, I heard that.
So,
So,
um, so are any of you going to see Deadpool and Wolverine next week?
I'm thinking of seeing it Wednesday at midnight.
I was thinking that, but I was like, I'd end up having to get a taxi home, and I just can't be arsed. Paying €8 for a taxi when it takes me like 17 minutes to walk home. So I'm just going to see it at the first showing on Thursday, which will be noon. Because then I can just get the bus in. Which is grand because the bus stop is literally right outside my front door.
Do you think? One thing I'm noticing with Irish cinemas now. Do you think it's going to be jam busters because day one releases now? The cinemas aren't as packed. People say cinemas are dying, and I'm like, it kind of looks that way, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, I've only been to the cinema twice this year. This will be my third time. When I went to see Phantom Menace, that was a nearly full packed house. But when I went to see Star Trek: The Search for Spock, there was like, including me, 6 people. So
That's to be expected, dude. Though that's an older movie
that is
in
to be expected.
genre.
But last year, I would always try to go to the first showing because I just couldn't be arsed waiting until that evening to go see it. If I'm wanting to go see
Michael,
it straight away.
With the advent of internet, you'd have to as well because fucking you wouldn't be able to fucking throw a pebble without being spoiled. So fucking day one.
That's why with Doctor Who, I would have to, as soon as I would wake up, I'd have to watch the episode without either go. So I'd have to avoid going on TikTok or Twitter because I would get spoiled that way.
Well, whenever I went and seen Abigail, there was only 2 other people in the audience, and when I went and seen some other films, there's just like only a few. But it's like nowadays when I go see a movie, I rarely am in a theater that's packed. There's just not very many people around seeing them anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and that's largely due to the fact that most places are really expensive.
Platforms.
Yeah, like it is like, granted, my cinema, the Arc Cinema, tickets are actually reasonable. Like if you go before 3 p.m., it's €10.95. If you go after 3 p.m., it's only $12.95. So getting the €10 ticket, paying a $5 for a small popcorn, that's €15. That's fine. But some places are charging €20 for a fucking ticket. Some of these bigger cinema chains like Odeon and stuff, and The View, like is another cheap alternative, I guess, out in Ashburn. But yeah, I don't have issues with my ticket pricing because they're thankfully relatively cheap. And even if I can't afford to go see straight away, I could always go on Tuesdays for $6.50.
Yeah, that's Arc is great for that because we have one in Ennis, and they do deals. They do couple deals. They do student deals. They do, which is pretty cool because in this day and age, like it's expensive going to see a fucking movie.
Yeah, like I seen a TikTok where this family of 4, 2 adults, 2 children, spent over like $100 going to the cinema to see. It was either Inside Out or Despicable Me 4. So I definitely do plan on doing a discussion video on ticket pricing at some point. It'll probably be out in August. It just depends on when I get around to filming it.
Well, I can say the only film that was pretty much packed when I saw it was Migration.
The one with the ducks?
Yeah, I was surprised how many people there were to see that one.
Well, last year I did go to see a good few number of films. Usually at the first showing, like I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. I think there was a decent enough, maybe like around 10 people that went. I can't remember. The same with Guardians of the Galaxy. Oppenheimer, that was pretty packed, but that was because I went to a later showing. Because the first showing was fully booked. So I went to the second showing for that one. Five Nights at Freddy's, that was another packed one as well. In October of last year. But when I went to see the Hunger Games film, there was a few people there, including myself. A decent amount, but like not like filling the auditorium type of way.
Well, interesting thing when I went and seen Freddy Fazbear film, the Five Nights at Freddy, that when he was doing when Matthew Lillard was doing his kill move, a darn person in my audience said "Stu," and like, I'm watching a movie here. It's like, yes, he's doing.
That's another reason why a lot of people aren't going to cinemas, is because there are a lot of people just go in, talk to their friends. They don't care. They'll
on
be
the
on
phone. So, Michael, people fucking looking up Facebook and Twitter and fucking taking pictures. Hey, I'm in the cinema. I'm like, you motherfucker, you dropped the same amount.
The movie starts.
Yeah, you dropped the same amount of money as I did. Are you that fucking flush that you can fucking arse around? Like, it's, I don't know.
And as well, like movies are jumping to streaming so fucking quickly. Like, take The Fall Guy, for example. That was like 2 weeks before it went straight to streaming.
I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is dropping the end of the month on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I haven't kept up with that, but I've only ever seen the first one in that franchise. I still need to get around to watching the others.
But just as illustrating your point, like that only came out fucking 2 months ago.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last month or the month before. I'm trying to remember when the last time I was on Luke's stream. I think about 2 months ago. But like there's a movie that's coming out soon. I forget which one it is, but they were saying that it's going to be 90 days before it goes on streaming.
Trap?
I can't remember which one it is.
Oh. I'm excited for that one.
Because with how that's why that's what's also affecting physical media sales, is because they're coming out so soon. Then compared to back in the day, which is why people would buy them, because they had that time out where it wasn't so fresh in their mind to then want to go and buy it. Like I still have yet to pick up The Ballads of Songbird and Snake on Blu-ray. I just haven't had the time to do it. But yeah, like I very rarely will buy new movies when they drop. I'll wait for them to go into CEX to become cheap.
Yeah.
Which I suppose that's also my way of negatively affecting physical media sales. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm not buying season 1 of Doctor Who on Blu-ray. Fucked if I'm paying €60 for a Blu-ray box set with 9 episodes and a heap of fucking extras that I don't give two shits about. I'd rather pay someone to bootleg it.
That's not your fault. That's a secular effect. That's another thing contributing to the death of physical media. It's like, oh, well, let's fucking, 4K Blu-ray or Blu-rays. Oh, they're getting a lot less people are collecting because because physical media is dying, so let's up the price. No, that's another reason physical media is dying. You're fucking charging through the fucking gills for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, why
I
would I
would.
pay 20 to 25 euro for a brand new Blu-ray when I could spend that amount and get several different Blu-rays for cheap, used?
May I please explain about back in the days in the first like 3 or 4 seasons of Lost when they would drop on DVD?
I never watched Lost. I was never. I was too young when Lost was on.
Well,
Um,
what was great about them is that when you bought the DVDs, they would include things that you couldn't get anywhere else. Like the deleted scenes were actually had to do with storylines that they had cut, and
that's
the
actually another thing. Sorry for cutting you off there, Monkey. But a lot of box sets now, TV show box sets, aren't even including deleted scenes.
No, they're not. I used to love special features
So
and
did I.
like
Like,
when
my favorite physical media that has special features was the 2009 Kelvin film. Like, looking at the bloopers of Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto doing a bad Irish accent was fucking hilarious to me.
you,
Like, I would watch that over and over again.
Quinto used to work in a Costa in Galway for a while, right? No, I think he went to college. He done a fucking student exchange program, and he worked in Costa. But yeah, no, you're right. Because I love seeing how movies are made. Like the Terminator 2 Special Edition DVD, first ever DVD I got with the metal tin, which is rusted to shit now. So many great special features, and it's like it's as a movie fan and a lover of cinema, you need that shit, and
You
it's like
do.
it sucks. It's like, well, why? I might as well just fucking download the fucking movie, which I hate. But if I'm not getting a bit of bang for my buck, why fucking pay for it? Like,
Yeah.
and there's like a whole subplot that was specifically recorded on webisodes that you can't get anywhere else except the box set when it comes to a character that was only in them that had to do with the plot of Hurley falling in love with this girl, but there was another character on the island that loved her too, and so they only filmed those scenes for the webisodes, and they included the webisodes in the extra footage, and they had these features where they would connect the little clips of where you see the characters like Jack in the background of this scene or Kate in the background of this scene, because supposedly they're like in each episode when they're showing different characters' backstories, you see the other members of the show in the background, like maybe walking across. Like there's an episode, like there's a part where a character is having an emotional scene in a hospital, and you see Jack, the doctor, walking across the hallway, and they interconnect all those. There's like where the cast talks about the episodes, like the episode where that has to do with Charlie, with the well, I won't spoil it, but the Charlie Penny's boat scene, you actually have the actor talking about that scene, and it's just like all the stuff, like I was trying to say, and then you continued on with my point is that yeah, those box sets were worth it at the time, and it even included a sneak preview of the video game, and the video game was really good and had the original voice actors, but it's like you literally paid for all this stuff that you could just watch hours and hours. I mean, do you remember the stickers that would say like over 20 hours of extra special footage?
Yeah.
I miss those so much, but yeah, those things used to be worth worth what you were getting. But now it's like you pay for the episodes and the coming on digital. But you are right, Michael. I even hate the box set even more for the fact uh, that I only have like 3 favorite episodes in the entire season, and it wasn't. I'm not getting it for the fact that I'm not gonna pay that much for only 3 episodes that I'm gonna watch back to back or regularly. I mean, it's just it's like if you make a good season, I'll buy it. But it's like, don't you agree nowadays these seasons they come out with are basically like you may have like when you're done with them, you may have like 1 or 2 favorite episodes. But we grew up with shows that we loved every single episode of every single season. I mean, eh, were you the same way, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, like, I one of the things that I actually one of the main reasons why I'm not buying this new season is the special features on season one. A lot of them all are already up on fucking YouTube for free.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the double-edged sword with YouTube,
yeah,
because it's like, well, again, we're bitching about not having special features, but I
mhm.
suppose if you want to look at the behind the scenes, or like Doctor Who Confidential, it's up on either the Beeb fucking website or YouTube, so
Yeah.
it's kind of
Well,
made it
granted,
redundant.
like the previous seasons when they were still doing Doctor Who Confidential, um, before they stopped it, I think around season 5 or season 6, um, they still included those the Doctor Who Confidentials on like the final disc
Yeah,
of the early seasons, and they will be Doctor Who Unleashed will be included um, on this season box set. But again, I'm paying €60 for 9 episodes, one of which I already have on Blu-ray, mind you, being last year's Christmas special. And on top of that, a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of features, a lot of which are on YouTube for free. Granted, one of the cool things that they are doing is they will include the tales from the TARDIS about the pyramids of Mars, which that the only way to actually get that, because they haven't released any of the other tales from the TARDIS outside of the UK, outside of the BBC iPlayer. So that's one way of getting it, because if you live outside of the UK, you have no access to rewatching that. And it will include Doctor Who Unleashed. But still, that's all it's including. I would love to see the deleted scenes. Like I said, Russell cut out a scene from The Devil's Chord that would have explained why everyone just broke out into song and dance. And it was needed. It needed to be in that episode. Granted, I do love The Devil's Chord. The Devil's Chord is one of my favorite episodes from that season. You know, Devil's Chord, Boom, and 73 Yards were some of my favorite episodes from season one. But still, I like even season 9 of Doctor Who. There was they had to change the ending to Robots of Sherwood because of an ISIS beheading. Because initially, how the episode was going to end was the sheriff of Nottinghamshire was going to be decapitated by Robin Hood and be revealed to be a robot. But they changed the ending because that was going on. And I remember seeing online that deleted scene. But when I went to go watch it for my review, it's not on the DVD.
I really worry about the death of common sense.
Yeah.
You're decapitating a robot version of
Mhm.
the sheriff of Nottingham. That has nothing to do with ISIS.
Yeah, I mean, like look at Tenacious D. They split up because of a joke that Colin Gas made.
Yeah, that's
Um,
stupid as a. In this day and age, he probably should have had the wherewithal to realize that wouldn't fly. But
mhm.
people are just fucking, they're pearl clutching left, right, and center. And I'm not going to be like someone going, "Oh, fucking woke up," because there's good fucking points to being enlightened and not being a fucking dick to people. But there needs to be a balance and a fucking measure. Um, I
I was
Oh, sorry, monkey. Go on.
I was actually around back in the day when Tenacious D was actually starting out, and they were just like little like 5-minute videos on MTV. Like there was an episode where they just decided to just like they looked up and they were like, dude, you know what would be so cool? Having a
Monkey, were they part of the
sunroof.
Liquid television? Were they
What?
part of the Liquid? Were they part of the Liquid television shorts?
Yeah,
MTV, yeah, the MTV done a thing. A lot of them were directed by who's not Keanu Reeves and Bill and Ted? Alex Winter. Alex
huh?
Winter directed a lot of them, and they were pretty good.
And if Tenacious D would have been, if they would be behaving how they did back then, what they would do instead of firing him was they would just do a skit where he was where the one band member was like maybe going to get comics and he gets shot in the ear, and then you hear him saying at the hospital, I take it back. But no, they're not. They're too serious now.
That wouldn't fly nowadays, Monkey. Everything.
Yeah, that's a bad, not a bad thing, but it's a shame that a lot of funny things that we grew up on, just would not fly today. Like some of the movies that we grew up with definitely would not be made today. Like take for example the American Pie films. I haven't seen any of them, but I just know that they would not be made today.
Oh no! They made another one that was all about female power, and it was horrible.
No, but Monkey, what Michael's trying to say is the original, like fucking not only American Pie, like I had to stop myself from showing a friend of mine Porky's because I love Porky's. I think it's funny. They're a feminist, and then I realized technically what these nerds are doing is borderline SA because they're like sneaking in, stealing underwear and shit. I was like, oh, back in the 80s, it was like, it's funny, like, but now it's like, not so much. Hey,
Yeah.
Luke.
Yes, we do have a comment from Luke's World of Movies and TV. He says, hi, Michael and Trash Picture Show and Monkey. How are you all? Any of you looking forward to the Deadpool and Wolverine next Friday? Well, I will be able to actually watch it Thursday because it's coming out slightly early here in Ireland. Huzzah! So I will be seeing it at noon with a friend of mine. Hopefully, he still has yet to get back to me on that one. And I will have my video, my Cinevlog for that up next Monday. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I am slightly annoyed at the fact that I follow Discussing Film on Twitter as well as some other stuff like that, and anytime something Deadpool and Wolverine gets mentioned, they obviously tweet about it, and that's fine. I'm not bitching about that. I am annoyed at the fact that the female Deadpool was spoiled in the trailer. I would have loved to have gone into that blind and seen that and enjoyed that reveal.
Michael, I'm fucking fuming. The final trailer, my own fault. I watched it. I was like, because I was wondering if a certain character is going to be in it.
Yeah.
And they just showed it straight out, and I'm like, I would have really enjoyed to have been surprised by that. I'm not going to say who or what shows up, but I was like, bollocks.
That's why, for me, I only watch the one trailer that comes out, the very first trailer, and then I avoid the rest like the plague. Because and this is like an issue with trailers now, is they will spoil anything that is relevant in the movie that what should be a reveal in the movie itself, not in the fucking trailer. But how I avoid them is I just don't watch them. As simple as.
I wanted Taylor Swift. She was supposed to be in the film.
Dude, don't go trying to kidnap Taylor Swift, okay? That'll get us in trouble. It'll get Michael's stream taken down. Don't. I'm fucking with you, Mikey. I'm joking. Yeah, no. Who? That would be good. Mike, Monkey. I think though they should have saved Taylor Swift as Dazzler because everyone was always fucking saying that she was going to be Dazzler. I'd say Blake Lively is. Everyone's saying Blake Lively, Taylor Swift. I have a hunch that the mask is going to come off and it's just going to be Ryan Reynolds with like a blonde wig.
I would laugh at that, but like I am kind of expecting it to be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Because that's
Again,
just something Ryan would do.
yeah, just to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Going to see it at on Thursday. I'll be pre-ordering my ticket, pre-buying my ticket on Wednesday when I get paid, because I learned my mistake last during Oppenheimer to pre-buy my tickets in advance. Because when I went to go see Oppenheimer last year, like I said, I had to go see the second viewing because the first viewing was fully booked. Granted, I have checked; only 3 people have pre-bought for the noon showing. But I'm definitely going. I prefer seeing movies now, like at the first showing, because that way I can watch it, be happy, and go about my day, and not have
And
to
not worry about spoilers.
not worry about spoilers, but also not worrying about you know, it being crowded. Like I
I
definitely
don't like that
if,
either.
I don't
Like
mind
there's
like
some
crowd,
fucking
but
kids, some kid kicking the back of your seat or fucking,
yeah,
some bullshit like that.
yeah.
Well,
So Luke's
the
World of Movies and TV says the film will bring Marvel back to its best since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
It can't get any fucking more. It can't deteriorate any fucking more, Luke. So hopefully you're right.
Hopefully. Um, but yeah, I mean, like the Agatha all along trailer. That I like the look of that. I definitely will probably watch that. But then again, I don't know, because I was intrigued with Secret Invasion. I watched 1 episode and never went back.
Secret Invasion was just, it was a fucking chore to get through. And
Yeah,
then
I agree. It was painful to get through the
yeah,
episodes. I was like, how many more minutes of this?
I
But
yeah.
I
Like
love
and
Emilia Clarke, but she seems to be cursed in everything she stars in, man.
yeah.
Just like
I don't know. I
fucking
loved her in Terminator Genesis. I thought she was great as Sarah Connor.
but it's just everything she does seems to go to fucking shiz. That
Oh,
She
kitten's
hasn't
going to
been
turn
all
into
of it.
Salacious Crumb and start going.
well, I have a question for both of you, even Luke, if he's still in here, about the Wolverine film. My question for all 3 of you is, are any of you planning on getting the popcorn bucket?
I don't think Arc will do it because
No, they don't really do that kind of shit
no,
over
they
here in
don't. They
Ireland.
did with recently for Despicable Me, for an extra upcharge. You could get like the new bucket for that they had for that, but like they very rarely do that. Like they gave out a free poster for the Phantom Menace, which I was happy for. But I would definitely pay more to get some of those popcorn buckets, because I know I seen on TikTok recently the Odeon, they actually allow you to, on like Deliveroo or Just Eat, to order some of those popcorn buckets to your house that they still have extras of.
Michael, have you seen the one? I think it's AMC in the States. The Alien Romulus popcorn
Yes,
bucket. I
I
put it
have
up on
seen
Twitter.
that. That
It
looks
looks like
fucking
fucking
cool.
Lex's shield in
Yeah,
AVP. It looks, when Scar cuts off the alien head and she uses
yeah,
as a
that
shield. It
that
looks
that
like
does
that.
look really really cool. I wish we would get something like that over here. So Luke's World of Media says, I recently watched The Boys. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it. Sad that season 5 will be the last one. I actually have not watched The Boys. I'm familiar with it. Um, and like with that and Invincible, I will probably have to watch them eventually. So maybe I'll just wait for season 5 to be finished, and then I'll watch it from all in one go, so that way I don't have to wait for the next season. Because I think they confirmed that season 5 will be out either, I think, next year or 2026. I think I've seen something like that
I've
before.
I've a weird relationship with the boys because I am a huge Garth Ennis fan. I love
Mm.
Garth Ennis. Irishman, wrote Preacher, wrote some of the best Punisher comics there was. His comic book The Boys it was where I was like, okay, Garth, you're going a bit too far. You're going a bit too fucking mean spirited and nasty. I think this is one of the cases where an adaptation of Garth Ennis surpasses the source material. And that's me as a fucking Garth Ennis fan. I didn't like the Preacher TV show. I love the comic, and I love his work on the Punisher. I love a lot of his stuff. But it's his boys comic. Fuck it. I was going to show. I'd probably get your fucking channel taken down if I show you one of the panels from the fucking comic. It's just so It's so mean spirited. It's like a Viz comic. I don't know if any guys in the UK remember Viz. It was an adult orientated comic.
I know Viz from the manga side of things, because they still go they still produce Shonen Jump under Viz Media.
No. Viz was a British adult comic that had characters like fat slags and stuff like that, and it's had its time, but it was very lowbrow, disgusting, kind of over sexual, over kind of crude humor, and that's what I felt the boys' comics had reached. And I was like, you're better than this, Garth Ennis. But I think the writing for the TV show is much better than the source material. Last episode, but so far so good. I love the fact that people now, fucking Republicans and far right people, are like, oh, it's gone woke. That was what the show was making fun of you pricks all along, and you wouldn't realize it now.
Like, that's why I love the South Park episode Enter the Pandaverse, because it's making fun of both woke and anti-woke people.
That was the great thing with South Park. South Park fucking was fair. It's like people are like, well, you're making fun of fucking minorities. They were fair. They took the piss out of everyone.
Yeah. So, getting back to the comments here, we do have Retro Girls UK here. Hello, thank you for being here. We have then Luke saying hello to them, and then Retro Girls saying hi back to Luke. So Luke says season 5 will be out in 2 years. So here's one that I'm going to be very excited to talk about. Luke asks, have any of you seen Cobra Kai Part 1 yet for season 6?
I haven't. They broke it down into 3 parts, November and then 2025 sometime.
I have watched all 5 episodes in one sitting.
Is this the final season? Because
this is the final season. This is it. After this, there's no more.
I was upset that a character came back but then left.
Yeah, I think I know. It could be either one or the other of who you're on about. So I don't think we'll speak much on it. I love it. I want more episodes right fucking now, because of the way it ends off. I knew what was going to happen with a certain someone from the get-go. I knew their allegiance would go back to where it was, and I want to see more Chosen, because he's fucking amazing. Karate Kid Part 2 is my favorite out of the Karate Kid series. It's one that I love, and I should do a reviews for the Karate Kid films. I love the Karate Kid so much that not only do let me see if I can get it in frame here. I have, as you can see back there, a Cobra Kai poster, but I have the first Karate Kid film on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. That's how much I love that film. And I love the franchise as a whole, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new Karate Kid film that was delayed until next year. That was going to have Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio in it. So that's now making the 2010 Karate Kid film canon to the Karate Kid universe.
So it's the Jackie Chan one is going to be connected to Cobra Kai, and this is connected.
To Karate Kid. We don't know if there's going to be a connection to Cobra Kai. You know, the writers, when it was announced, said that it was going to be its own thing, its own separate thing from Cobra Kai. So I don't know what's going to happen.
The best thing you could do for that film is connected to Cobra Kai, because
Oh,
Cobra Kai has
definitely.
some amount of momentum and a fan base now. You would be an idiot not to. Also, Michael, meant to ask you, have you seen the fucking Karate Kid TMNT figures?
Yes, I have. I think I've seen versions of them.
Yeah.
I want them all. I want them all.
Yeah. They definitely look pretty cool. So Retro Girls UK says, "Yeah, I've just finished Cobra Kai. Annoyed that we have to wait until November for part 2. As am I. I want all the episodes now. Thank you very much. So I could have binged them all in one day and kept up with my tradition."
My theory is it's Netflix going, please don't unsubscribe. Please don't unsubscribe. Please don't unsubscribe.
What?
Because there's a theory that once Cobra Kai and Stranger Things finishes fucking
Well, I
Netflix,
was going to get into that. That we're still waiting for season 5, and they pushed it back. I want season 5 of Stranger Things. We've been waiting like 5 years for it.
But Monkey, what I'm saying is, I think Netflix are pushing them back so they don't start hemorrhaging subscribers from the fucking platform. They're trying to fucking spread it out as far as they can.
Apart from Stranger Things and Cobra Kai, they're not, to my knowledge, not really producing much original shows.
No.
Like back what they were known for back in the day. Like I loved Orange is the New Black until we got to the final season, and then I fucking hated it. And any new show that they try and make, they just cancel it within 1 or 2 seasons.
Their movies as well, they're getting really shoddy with the last great fucking movies, and it's a cool franchise if they kept it going and kept the Russo brothers involved in Hemsworth. Extraction, those 2 fucking movies were amazing, and they're proper action movies. They're up there with John Wick for action, and they need to focus on them and not fucking Jennifer Lopez and her huge arse piloting a fucking mech.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Sorry.
And I understood what you meant. I just was really upset about it, that they were holding back season 5 of Stranger Things. I understood the reason why. I just wanted it now because we've been waiting so long for it. Just season 4.
Tried watching. Well, I say I tried watching Stranger Things. I just wasn't in the right headspace at the time. But I still have yet to actually watch Stranger Things in general. But Luke's World of Movies and TV says, "Yeah, I know that's crap. I thought that part 2 would be out in 2 weeks." I couldn't remember exactly when part 2 was out as I was watching them, because you see, I started watching those 5 episodes after finishing a 6-hour gaming session of playing Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution on Xbox 360. It was my first time playing it in ages, and this stream actually would have been late had I not kept an eye on the time, because I was actually in the middle of a match on Civilization. So yeah, it's a good thing I actually kept an eye on the time. Otherwise, this would have definitely been late. Had I not had this stream scheduled, I think I would have probably put in another hour or 2 at least on that.
Don't lie. You would have been on it for the day.
Yeah, basically. I would have finished one campaign, then started another, and then finished that one, and then start another. And then I'd be like, oh shit, where did the day go?
There's a game that I feel that way about, Michael, and that is the Oregon Trail.
Monkey, actually, there's a YouTuber called The Gaming Historian. They put up a video there last week about the making of the Oregon Trail, and it's really cool. If you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah, they done a fantastic. Norm, the gaming historian, on a fantastic hour-long documentary about Tetris and how we got Tetris in the West. I love the Tetris movie. You know, it was one of my favorite films from last year. But yeah, compare the Tetris movie to Norm's hour-long video. There is night and day. Norm's video outdoes the actual Tetris film. So we do have Kel's bit of everything here saying, "Hi, Michael. Hope you are good. I'm good, thank you. I hope you are too." And then lastly, Luke's World of Movies and TV says, "I agree, Michael. Netflix are nothing without Stranger Things and Cobra Kai."
Well, Stranger Things was its first real launch title, just like how Disney pluses was The Mandalorian, and basically that's another service that we're still waiting for the next season of The Mandalorian.
We won't be getting a new season. We're getting a movie for Mandalorian. So I watched the first episode of The Mandalorian and I just never gone back to it. Like I said, I'd like to distance myself as much as possible from Star Wars, because of the way the community is right now. I still love the franchise, but yeah, like the newer stuff. It just doesn't necessarily interest
It's
me.
Yeah,
The only one that I
you
watched that had
Michael.
any interest was Kenobi.
Michael, you hit the nail on the head when it came to the community. I consider myself a Star Wars fan, but a casual. Hardcore Star Wars fans are fucking mental. As a friend of mine once said, no one hates Star Wars more than its fan base at
Yeah.
the moment.
A very interesting fact is that there was actually a fan that tried to piss me off, so I pissed them off back, and guess what I said that really got them?
Your mother.
Greedo shot first, and that pissed them off.
Greedo's mother shot first. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That was good.
I think I am going to call stream here because my phone is nearly dead.
Oh well.
So
Can
it's gone on
can I
longer than
add-
I actually expected. Normally I would have liked to take about 2 hours, but we've gone on for 2.5 hours, so that's great. Thank you
Can
to
I-
the monkey and Track Picture for coming on. I really appreciate it. Monkey, you had something to say?
Yes, I have a question. I really don't know the answer to this, and I want answers from both of you. So there's a show that is pre-orderable called the Oron Academy, and I love it so much. It's a great anime show. It's pre-orderable for Blu-ray, but here's the thing I don't understand. Look, I own it on Blu-ray already. The complete season, the series. So why are they re-releasing it on Blu-ray when we already have it on Blu-ray?
It's probably because of Crunchyroll absorbing Funimation into them. So they're just trying to liquidate what some of the Blu-ray stocks that Funimation has. Like some of the Dragon Ball Steelbooks that were out of stock have come back into stock because of Crunchyroll just now actually moving some of what they had left onto their website for people to buy. So that's probably why, I think.
And actually, the sad thing is, I recommend anybody that's a fan of this, they get this version of it because it's like if they're able to find it, it's a bit more affordable. And the only special feature that they have on the newer version of this is an audio commentary, but that's it. So it's like they're not there. But I don't want to make your phone die any longer. I just really needed the answer. Thank you for giving me the answer. And I will say it was a blast being on with both of you. You both are scholars in your own fields, and this will be the highlight of my month. And I just hope I held my own weight.
Yeah, you did.
You did. I also want to say that's an epic beard. Myself and Michael's beard are fucking. We bask in the shadows of your fucking ZZ Top creation. It's amazing, lads. I gotta fucking dust off because I'm starving. Okay, I see you later, Michael. Thanks for having us on.
See you later. So once again, thank you all for coming on. I'm not sure when I'll be doing the next stream, but the content to expect coming out, like I said, tomorrow I have a discussion on are the odd number Star Trek films really that bad? And then, of course, on Wednesday, I'll have my part 4 and final part to my review of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2. And then Friday, I'll have my review for Doctor Who The War Machines. And then next Monday, of course, I'll have my Cinevlog for Deadpool and Wolverine. So that is what to expect coming up on the channel moving forward. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. and I shall see you all tomorrow for another brand new upload. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.